This is not a Battlefield game anymore. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack. Okay, so before we get started, I want to thank everybody for subscribing and joining the Mav movement. We have hit 3,000 subscribers. Battlefield Hardline is in many ways a different type of Battlefield game. Developed primarily by Visceral Games, Battlefield Hardline is available for PC and the Microsoft and Sony consoles. This iteration of Battlefield takes us out of the world of war and military and into the streets where in a corrupt system, crime happens on both sides of the law. Does this Battlefield stand on its own and bring the change modern shooters need, or is it a change that's way too different to even be considered a Battlefield game?
This place has changed a lot.
Story.
The story stars you as Officer Nick Mendoza, a new detective on the Miami Police Department alongside his partner Kai Dow. Nick and Kai follow a trail of drugs and crime all the way down to a police conspiracy that's both predictable and chaotic. You meet other cops like Goddard, who I think he's Reggie from Infamous Second Son, or a hacker who is Malik from 8 Mile, you know, the one that effed Eminem's girlfriend in the movie. When Nick is on the cusp of finding out who the major players are in bringing drugs into Miami, Florida, he is framed and ends up on the opposite side of the law. This is where the pace of the game picks up as you work with other criminals to set up a heist for a big score against a former police friend of yours. The story is decent, something that you'll enjoy and get into the longer you get into it, even though it starts off slow and is pretty cliche, but it works because it doesn't take itself too seriously and it's reminiscent of popular cop/crime TV shows that get corny at times, but it's a fun and stylized single player that is a refreshing take on first-person action shooters. Oh yeah, at the end of the game, no spoilers, but let's just say it's all yours now.
Gameplay.
I'm going to be splitting this section into two, so we'll talk about single player gameplay first, and then the multiplayer aspect of the gameplay. So single player is very refreshing. You can tackle each mission in single player with a choice. Of course, this is Battlefield, so you can go in like a savage, guns freaking blazing, or you can play each mission with stealth, tagging your enemies and either knocking them out or making them put their hands up so you can go in for arrests to get non-lethal takedown points. See, there's a cop rating system in the game that is basically like single player rank progression that gets you more unlocks with more points, so it makes you want to play stealthy or get the good cop rank all the way up to the max rank. You can throw a bullet casing to distract guards or even break their line of sight if you're caught, which some stealth games lack the ability to do so. Aside from the stealth, there are special criminals with warrants that you need to take down and arrest for even more points, and that works towards your case file needed to 100% the game in single player. It's a fun story and the gameplay is definitely a fun time. Taking elements from other first-person shooter stealth games, it does this a bit different but still has a Battlefield vibe to it. Online is very, very fun. It's one of those games that will keep you around for a while, making you want to play and grind to get cash for guns and gear in-game. There are a few different game modes offered online. There's Team Deathmatch, which is just your basic game mode to get the most kills on your team. Heist mode, which is exactly what it sounds like. Criminals have to steal the cash and escape. Hotwire, which is a sort of capture the flag type of mode with cars. Blood Money, which is both teams fighting for a stack of cash in the center of the map. Rescue is a round-based one-life game where you have to rescue hostages. Crosshair, which you have to escort a VIP, and then the classic Conquest, small and large. The gameplay is very, very, very fast-paced as far as a Battlefield game goes. You're going to run and gun and die and respawn over and over again until you try and play the objective, or sometimes even playing the objective. You can tase people with tasers and then interrogate them to make them reveal their teammates to you on your minimap. There's a grappling hook and zip lines to traverse the environment, and even run around with a huge freaking riot shield on your back. There's plenty to do in the online, and the progression is fun seeing how much gear you can unlock with the money that you earn in game. I also suggest trying out the single player guns so you can see how they work online, just so you know what you're getting into before you actually purchase a bigger weapon. But overall, the gameplay is fun and easy to pick up and grasp, although online does have a skill factor, because it is very fast paced and it forces you to react and be quick on your toes. The gameplay is very fun.
Things I liked.
Choices in single player. You can either go stealthy or aggro, and I absolutely love having choices in a video game. The sound design, once again, Battlefield's sound design is absolutely amazing. From the explosions to the gun sounds, to even having your character yell out profanity as you kill enemies and drop gear for your friends. Shoot, even the footsteps had me like, Get the online fun factor. I really enjoy playing the game. It does get repetitive at times, and dying over and over again is frustrating, but that's popular with most shooters in this day and age anyway. The money system. I like the online money system and unlock progression. You have to play to get good stuff. And seeing as how there aren't any microtransactions for online battle packs, nobody can pay to win. Unless of course you get the money in game to pay to win, of course. The story, I actually really enjoyed the story. From the actors to the campy TV show style cop themed narrative, it definitely had a story worth playing at least one time through.
Things I disliked.
The frame rate on the PlayStation 4 version of this game is terrible. Very bad, noticeably bad. Online and in single player. I don't know why it gets so bad when things move or there's a ton of people spawning in on team deathmatch, but it's very freaking bad. The weapon selection is very limited online, and I understand that it's street weapons and it's not a military game, but the selection is spare. Definitely not as many weapons as the previous Battlefield titles, but enough to tide you over and keep you wanting to unlock more and get down to the more expensive, more harder to unlock weapons. This is not a Battlefield game anymore. It's gone to the full arcadey spectrum of running and gunning and shooters, and I don't dislike the game for it being fast-paced. I just like that it feels more like a Call of Duty game than a Battlefield game, and yes, I said it. Think on the lines of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, kinda got that vibe. I just want Battlefield 5 to go back to the slower, methodical gameplay, because this game is literally running and gunning chaos, not even thinking, going out there, dying, killing, dying, killing. Ah, man. And then one minor gripe, but online it seems enemies can get headshots on you for days and one shot kills you. But when you try, you gotta drill the shit out of enemies. I just don't understand it. Sometimes, you know, it just doesn't add up. The kill, sometimes you just die too fast. One shot, full health, and you're done. And not for me necessarily, but the game is a little buggy. I noticed that watching a few different people stream and whatnot, the game is very buggy for certain people. Now, I didn't have issues with bugs. I didn't have any bug issues, but they're there, so be cautious of those.
Overall,
with its fresh take on first-person shooters, Hardline goes against the typical Battlefield formula with increased pace online and the choice to be a good cop or a straight savage in the single player. There's lots to do for shooter fans, but do I think it's worth the money? Definitely. This game with its single player freedoms and constant multiplayer action warrants you the full price you may spend on the game and will keep you coming back to play it again and again. Even though it's not your usual slower paced Battlefield, it is definitely a great game. But with all that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching this episode of MavAttack. If you found this review helpful to you at all, be sure to attack that like button and let me know your thoughts on the game or any questions you guys may have in the comment section below. But my name is MavAttack and I will see you guys all on the next episode of MavAttack. Move.